happening. But let me take you to the Upper East region, where my colleague Albert Sori is standing by. Bawku Central is interesting because of the conflict there. And we know there's a curfew, and we know polling ended at 5. Yeah. That may be affecting those in the queue, but also counting needs to be finished very quickly. Albert, what are the dynamics there with the curfew in place?
Evan, so when I spoke to the Upper East Regional Police Commander before I came into town yesterday, the communication was that at the end of voting time today, what they will do was to stop people from joining the queue, and those who are still in the queue will be allowed to vote together with security protection. Now, afterwards, when it's 6 o'clock and curfew time, what they will do is that they will ask the civilians. All civilians are supposed to go indoors by 6 p.m. Only the Electoral Commission officials and other accredited people who... Sorry, Evans, let me just move a little bit because there are some vehicles coming in.
I can see that behind you, and this is Bawku indeed. You need to be always on your guard when you're reporting, especially at this time of the evening when curfew is upon you. Yes, Albert, yes?
Yes, so what happened was that the Electoral Commission officials and other accredited people like media and observers who have accreditation to be at the polling stations will be allowed to stay and witness the counting at the polling stations together with security protection. So that was what happened. So at 6 p.m., when the voting was over, and it was also curfew time, the security provided protection for the counting at the polling stations. And then they will escort the Electoral Commission officials to the collation center. We were initially told that the collation center would be at the police station. And that is where myself and other media colleagues decided to go. But when we got there, we were told that it has been moved to the office of the Electoral Commission, which is inside the building of the Bawku Municipal Assembly. And so that is where we are currently as ballot boxes and Electoral Commission officials arrive here under security protection. What I understand is going to happen is that the security will be stationed here for protection as the collation goes on this evening, and then the election results will eventually be declared when the collation is over.
And one of the key things we're watching across the country, but particularly in Bawku Central, because of the conflict, the potential for that conflict to discourage people from turning out in their numbers to exercise their civic responsibility. What can you report on that? Did people brace the odds in spite of the potential for the guns to go off to go out and vote?
Yes, so what I've been told since I got here is that there were a lot of dialogues between security personnel, people in high office, people who are respected. There were a lot of dialogues held between the factions for there to be a very peaceful election here in Bawku. And so for the last 3 or 4 days, there haven't been any shootings or any disturbances whatsoever. In fact, when I got into the town yesterday evening, everything appeared very normal, except for the fact that you occasionally see security people in armored cars and other vehicles patrolling the town. You see a lot of soldiers and police officers and other security officials at various vantage places. There wasn't any sign that this is the troubled area that we frequently hear about in the news. And so today, the election was generally peaceful. We did not witness any kind of violent incident or any thing that threatened to mar the process, except that what is happening in Bawku is that the nature of the conflict is such that people on either side of the factions cannot cross into certain areas. for their own security. And so if you have to go into a polling station that is in enemy territory, for want of a better expression, you will not dare to do that. But I witnessed very long queues on either side of the factions. We've been told where the demarcations are, where the territories are. But because we are media people, we are not involved in it in any way. And so we were allowed to move about freely. I crossed into areas belonging to both factions and witnessed the voting process. There were quite long queues in most of the polling stations. It's difficult to tell at this moment exactly how the general turnout was, unless we start getting the results. But I would say that the process was generally very smooth and there weren't any incidents at all.
And that is very encouraging indeed in Bawku Central. And I know Dr. Ainin, Professor Ainin will weigh in pretty shortly, getting this good news report from Bawku Central. All the security analysts I know, the security briefings I've heard, and even talking to the Electoral Commission, everybody was concerned about Bawku Central, whether indeed they can even set up polling stations there. And it tends to be very good news, early days yet, but good news there from Albert. Albert, fantastic reporting, and please keep vigilant and safe. We'll reconnect with you again just to get the very latest from Bawku Central, especially as we begin to move all the ballots to the polling, the collation center there for the final results to be declared for the parliamentary. And then, of course, we get an announcement for the presidential. We'll connect with you again. Thank you very much, Albert. I want to bring in...